All right, good morning. Good morning. Taking a look and see here. We got about 6 minutes to open. Kind of taking a look at the charts here to see what we got. Excuse me. See if we got any news today. I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that Powell is testifying again today. Not really any gaps to speak of. Not really. We have a small gap to the downside here. We closed yesterday. Looks like we closed yesterday in that around that 15,000 level. So we're 24, 25 point swing to the downside there. Let's see what we got. I think we got existing home sales today, maybe 10 a.m. So FOMC member Bowman speaks at 9:55. Existing home sales at 10. Fed Chair Powell speaks at 10 o'clock. And then Messler speaks at 10 o'clock as well. And then crude oil at 11. That's not really got anything to do with our market. Yeah, so that's pretty much it today. Kind of news heavy this morning, which means that we probably should be a little less aggressive today. We did have a decent trade overnight here. I'll show you guys real quick when we got a couple of minutes. Frustrated a little bit overnight here. I was trying to be very, very patient. You can see here, swept the liquidity to the downside twice. Had a structure shift here on the 3-minute chart to the upside. So I was looking at this volume imbalance here that we have. And if you're unfamiliar with what a volume imbalance is, it's simply a gap between the top of the first candle and the bottom of the second candle. So you can see there's a small gap there. So I put my order here, looking to get filled, and I waited and waited and waited. And on the 1-minute chart, it traded back into the fair value gap on the 1-minute chart a couple of times and kind of tested my FOMO here, because you see got a small gap here, came back, traded into it, 20-point move out of it, traded back into it again, another 25-point move out of it. So I ended up taking this one. I just got impatient and took it. And then I shut the stream off at 4 o'clock, knowing that this probably would eventually get repainted. And what happened? As you can see here, chop, chop, chop. Finally trades back into the imbalance here at 4:51 a.m. And so the imbalance is there at 14,988, and we traded up to 15,024. So about a 35 handle move to the upside there. And then we sold off. So I felt okay with that entry. I took kind of short profit on it, about 15 handles or so on each. And then I did accidentally take a trade on the other account for $47 here. Did not mean to. I didn't realize I was in this account. So luckily it wasn't a loser. But anyways, got about 2 minutes here until open. Just going to kind of see what happens at open. Now, we don't plan on hitting the button this morning at open. We plan on being patient, see what the market gives us. We're already up 575, a little over $600 for the day between all three accounts. So just kind of see what happens. Like I said, no real reason. I don't think I'm going to be pressing the button first thing this morning. We will. I had to put the ES on this side. So if you're new here, we got Apex on the right, Top Step on the left. Let's check and see here if we've gotten any. All right. So it looks like 43.93 is going to be support today on the ES. If we can get above 44.04, might be looking for a squeeze. Back to 44.13. All right, well, we kind of tested that 43.93 level already this morning. Right here at 9 o'clock. Tested it earlier too. It's really held up. If we lose that 93 level, probably going to be a sell type of day. If we can hold that 93 and get above 44.04, then maybe we move up. So let's just kind of sit back and see what happens. If you haven't already hit that like button, subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. All right, market's open here. Kind of moving back down through the 70s here. Going to kind of watch this 93 level. If we move back into 93 on the ES, we may look for a bounce trade. Just kind of a thinking out loud there. We do have a pivot to the downside on the NQ at 14,939. And then a pivot on the ES at 43.95. Oh, I got the... What am I doing here? Hold on. I got the wrong charts pulled up in the wrong areas. ES. Okay, there we go. Kind of bouncing off the 64 there. Kind of squeezing back up there, chopping right here at open. No real reason to do anything. We don't tend to trade this open all that well, so we're going to follow the rules and not press the button. Just going to kind of be waiting here, see what happens. No need to do anything right here. Kind of approaching that 95 level, possible move back above 15,000 here. Could have bought the dip there on the bottom, but you know, in hindsight, it's always easy to see, right? Breaking through the VWAP here. Breaking through the VWAP there, the ES trying to kind of come along with it here. Pulling back into that VWAP there. Could have taken a little dip entry right there off of the VWAP if you wanted. My rules say, it's not saying that I can't take a trade. I can certainly take a trade. It's just that, you know, we don't want to do something that doesn't make sense. Yes, kind of bouncing right off of that pivot there at the 95 level. Yes, looks like it's coming back down to try to test that pivot one more time. Possibly test that 93 area. Nasdaq's trying to go. It's looking quite a bit stronger than the ES here. Trying to lead the way, but ES back to the pivot here. Like I said, may test this pivot again and potentially test this 93. Is the NQ going to start pushing and try to bring the ES back up with it? Nasdaq looking quite a bit stronger. Kind of breaking through that trend line, that downward trend line there on the NQ. Possible move up into this 25-30 level. NQ trying to push, ES bouncing off that pivot once again. ES approaching the 20 SMA on the 3-minute chart. Let me let's change this over to the 3 minutes. Yeah, let's do it like that. Yeah, still lagging behind here. If we get the ES going here, then the Nasdaq may break out. Nice little burst through right there on the ES. Pushing the NAS up with it. A little bit of volatile price action right there. Kind of pushed up and took that liquidity there. Let's see if it continues to push here. ES kind of got rejected right there at the VWAP. Pulling back into the VWAP here on the NQ looks like. ES trading right back down to that pivot almost. See which one pulls which one with it. The ES breaks through that 95, retest that 93 level. Volatility here is pretty crazy. Oh, you guys couldn't even see that. I took a little entry there on the NQ on the Apex account. Kind of pulled back into this VWAP. I was watching, so I was thinking we'd push back up. Took a little $180 winner there, just on the Apex account. Forgot I had pulled up the ES and not the Nasdaq on the Apex. But you can see the ES kind of came back and tested this 93 level here, kind of bouncing out of there. Quick little momentum trade there. I'm not great at those, but when you can see that kind of holding that VWAP level and the ES holding the holding that 93, you kind of feel like we might pop. See kind of what we get here in the next few minutes before this 10 a.m. numbers come out. Yeah, I got this volatility this morning. I'm telling you, it's makes it kind of tough to read, but so I'm happy with the little scalp I took right there. Just ripping up here on the NQ. Ripping up. I'm happy with the trade that we took first thing, so we're going to just wait this out and see what we get when the news comes. Excuse me. NQ pushing up here. ES still not getting above the VWAP here. Pushing up into the 40s here. ES trying to fight to get above that VWAP. Kind of needs to reclaim that 4404 level in the ES for us to start pushing up here, for me to kind of be interested in a trade. So we're looking for over 4404 for a long. Looking for support down here at the 4393. If we don't hold the support at 4393, then I think we sell, sell, sell. Small gap's been filled that we had kind of to the upside here. This 1510, 1512 area. Like I said, you know, those gaps do like to get filled, but doesn't always mean you got to trade them. Big boner candle to the upside right there on the 15-minute chart. It's going to be a pretty wide range on this first 15-minute candle on the NQ. The ES not so much. This candle on the ES is not that wide. 4401 down to 4493. Big range on the NQ though. Huge breakout candle there, heading up into the 50 level here. Let's look at our entry here. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we never really would have been in the red here. It pushed up, traded back down to here, and then pushed on up. But I was pretty happy with this to scalp. I actually pressed the button kind of late. I was looking at the VWAP to get in, but it's all right. Not going to complain at all about being in the green on a trade there. Not going to complain. All right, so the 15-minute candle's kind of set here, range, I mean, if that's what you want to call it. I haven't really been putting this on here. It is something that I kind of watch, but, you know, haven't really been putting the range on here. But we'll put it on here today just for fun. See here. I'd be careful trying to take a breakout trade to the upside on this. Probably want to see this little consolidation here before it moves higher. Kind of show you guys this indicator that I use. I mean, I don't really use it. I'm using it. I'm watching it, but you can see I'm not using it. But kind of got a buy signal here at 14,987. So if you did buy at the 14,990 area, you did have a little wick down. So you would have taken about 10 handles to the downside. You can see this just whoop, pushing out of there. Like I said, I don't put a whole lot of weight on these indicators, but sometimes if you're long, it is nice to see the indicator kind of agreeing with you there. So pivot to the upside here at 15,107. Man, the NQ just keeps going today, huh? Maybe could have bought the breakout at the 15.50. 20 handles above there so far, but you can see the ES not breaking out yet. You got numbers coming out here in 12 minutes, and then you got Fed speaking at 9:55 and 10 a.m. So you could have got 25 points on that breakout, that 15-minute breakout there that we didn't take because we already made basically a 90-point run, right? I mean, we traded from 64, up into the 50, and then you mark out your 15 minutes. It's kind of like, do I really want to be buying up here? It's tough to do. You can see the ES kind of still hanging out in that 15-minute range there. Hey, Mickle. How you doing today? The name of the indicator is... I'll just pull it over here and show it to you. It's going to be Lux Algo trend line with breaks. So if we click the little down arrow here... This is it, trend line with breaks, Lux Algo, and I change it to 13 and 0.9. So if you look at the settings, length 13, slope 0.9, ATR is the calculation method. It's not, like I said, it's not an end all be all, but just for some confirmation for what's going on. You can see draws these trend lines for you. The small letters is for the break of the trend lines, which you could just see that on your own. And then once we get a color change, you'll get a buy or a sell signal. So if you go back and test it on trending days when we have decent moves, it's not bad. And even when we don't, I use it on the 2-minute chart. You can put it on a higher time frame and get kind of less signals. But Michael, I'm assuming it's probably Michael. I said Mickle. Sorry about that. But like I said, I mean, the indicator, I use that on TradingView just for confirmation if I'm looking for like a breakout trade or something. But it's not bad. About 10, well, not even 10 minutes away, 3.5 minutes away from, I don't know, one of the Fed members speaking. I don't remember which one it was, and I know Powell speaks at 10. NQ kind of pulling back here, possibly into the 15-minute range as the ES is breaking out of the range. Kind of an interesting scenario there. Very interesting. Wasn't even looking, and the ES just went bursting out of that 15-minute range there. Almost makes me want to participate here on the NQ. See if the ES holds this 15-minute range here, kind of turns it into a little bit of support. But we are so close to these, to these numbers that probably is going to keep me out of it. Not to mention, don't like to trade the first 30 minutes if I can help it. Sometimes it's just too good to be true, so you take it. Let's see here. Let's see if we can't make an adjustment to this thing. This thing's looking kind of crazy. All right. Like I said, kind of getting the breakout there on the ES. Nasdaq kind of traded back into almost to that 15-minute range and kind of bounced out of there a little bit. So nicely ES holding this 4404, possible move up into the 4412 level here. We hit that 4412 level. Then could potentially end the day up into the 20s, but got to kind of turn this 4404 level into support. And going into news right here first thing. I'm not going to press the button, but you could if you wanted to. Not going to stop you. If you haven't already, guys, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. I appreciate it. So breaking out here, going into the news, we got one of the Fed members speaking now here. Moving up into the 1580 on the NQ. The ES pushing through here to 4406, kind of just pushing higher here. Like I said, I think 4404 would be a nice breakout buy there, would have been, but didn't take it. So possible move in the 4412, 4413 area. So let's kind of see what happens here. About 2.5 minutes from the news. Moving on up, 4408 on the ES here, 15095 on the NQ. Just pumping here. Don't feel too bad about not participating. Oh, your TV froze, John Jones? It's not good. Hopefully it's it's back up. Approaching this 15,100 level. Man, that 15-minute breakout's looking pretty solid this morning, but I didn't take it on either. You know, hindsight's 20/20 there. Hey John, I saw you in Cammy's stream yesterday. I don't know if you watched my recap video from a couple of days ago. That entry you had at 44.1850 looked like it paid out pretty well the other day. I think we topped out at 44.44. So hopefully you got some of that move. It's like as soon as I shut the stream down, it just it blasted off. Seems to happen. Like for whatever reason, I shut the stream down at say 11:15, and then at 11:20 we get a breakout. Shut it down at 11:20, 11:30, we get a breakout. So it's kind of the way it goes, I guess. Maybe I need to be a little more diligent and stream longer, huh? So crossing over this 10 o'clock hour here. So kind of going to be looking for the potential silver bullet, but being very aware that, news, and we got the Fed speaking. Kind of topped out at the 15,099 level there. Probably going to get a push through here. It's going to be important to hold this 4404 level here on the ES. If we don't hold that level, then I think we sell back down, obviously, to the 93, maybe even further. These two levels are going to kind of be magnets today, 43.93, 44.13. So as long as we're in that range, we're probably just going to be bouncing back and forth. So I'd like to see the ES trade out of that range. Let's either get above 44.13 and get going, or let's sell down below 43.93 and get going to the downside there. So that's kind of the important range on the ES today. The NQ, very similar, 15,102 versus 964, obviously. So we'll kind of see what happens here. Just kind of watching the 1 minute chart here, see if we get a structure shift back to the downside. Since we kind of ran the highs there. Let's see here. Kind of zoom out a little bit. Just looking at the bigger picture there. Just watching the ES. If we don't hold that 4404 level, that's going to give me pretty good confirmation that we're probably going to sell off here. Sell off back down. We filled the gap to the upside, kept going, and now kind of anticipating a possible move back to the downside here. So for that silver bullet, you'd be looking for a structure shift to the downside. And kind of getting it on the ES right now if this candle continues down. I'd like to see it break 0250. 440250 would kind of be the structure shift to the downside on the ES. On the NQ, we really want to see it pull back into this 50 level. Would be nice. Well, actually 60. I guess 60 technically would be a shift to the downside too. So let's see. Yeah, chop zone 4404. Yeah, you're probably right. ES just tagged previous day close. What time frame are I'm on? This one's the 3 minute chart. I like to use the 3 minute chart for my. I watch the 3 minute chart mostly, so I'll watch the 3 minute and the 5 minute for confirmation, and then I'll drop down into a smaller time frame, 2 minutes or 1 minute for my entries and exits. I'm just going to go back and look. Previous day close. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know. I kind of am expecting a move back to the downside today, even though that could be very wrong, because I want to say like 9 out of the last 11 Fridays we've had nice push-ups on Thursday and Friday. So See if we continue that trend or if we break that trend today. Next pivot on the ES looks like it's up at 44.17 to the upside. Kind of approaching that pivot on the NQ already, 106. Yeah, the breakout trade would have been a nice trade this morning, but I didn't take it. Hey John, do you trade the London session at all? I've been trading the London session. I quite like it. I know Cammy is saying that he struggles or he's not had great success during the London session, so he stopped trading it. But I don't know. I find it kind of a lot easier to read because usually you're going to have a nice move back or a nice move down or a nice move up prior to the London Open. And then once you get the London Open, can't really make an argument for both directions. So I like that. You can usually just, look for a shift in one direction or the other based on what the trend is and find an entry that way. It played out nice. I missed it. I mismanaged it 2 nights ago, but last night I did off early in Missouri. Yeah. It's 3 a.m. here, so I guess what was that, 2 a.m. there? The meth heads are up, right? Okay, I got you. Hey, I just set my alarm for 2:45 and get up. I have a cousin that lives in Fayetteville, Arkansas, so I don't know what part of Missouri you live in. He lives in Fayetteville. I know you were over. I think you told me. Yeah, you're in Kansas City. That's right, Kansas City. So I don't know how close that is to Fayetteville. He lives technically in Bentonville, but I guess not a lot of people. I guess they know it because of Walmart. But yeah, that's where he lives at. So yeah, I've been up there. I don't know, once or twice. Sadly, should have been more. Should have visited more. I think he's been there since 2003 or 2004. Yeah, like I said, I've been there a couple times, but I don't think I've been since 2005. Been quite a while. Need to get back up there to visit. He comes to Georgia quite a bit, so a few times a year. But yeah, that would be early. To 2:45. Well, I guess if you're only up an hour though, right? That's kind of the way I look at it. I'm just up from 2:45 usually to 4, and then I just go back to sleep. I take a little nap in the middle of the day. Nothing like a nap for us older people, right? I don't know if you're old or not. Older, I'm 43, so I quite enjoy a nap. 3 hours and 45 minutes. I guess that's not too bad then. Yeah, I know I used to go over to. The wife doesn't like it. I got you. We went over when I was in Bentonville. We went over to a casino in Missouri. I don't remember what casino it was because it's so long ago, but I like to play poker, so we went over there and played some poker. Went over there and played some poker, and I don't think I did all that well then, but I'll travel up to Cherokee, North Carolina occasionally and play some poker. Kind of getting this move back down into the 5-minute fair value gap there on the ES. I'm kind of favoring a move back to the downside, but I could be wrong here. This is where I struggle with the silver bullet setup. Because sometimes it trades right back down into an existing gap from earlier and just takes off. And that's technically your setup. So this is where I can make an argument. You can kind of make an argument for both directions, but this could be your entry. I actually kind of like this because we got the 4404 right there as support. So it could potentially trade out of here and trade up, but if I miss it, I miss it. We have a fair value gap here on the 3-minute chart for the NAS. A small order block there that's kind of being respected so far. So, like I said, I'm kind of favoring a shift back down to the downside. So I don't know if we'll get it. If you haven't already, hit that like button for me, subscribe, and leave a comment. Type something in the chat. Give us something to talk about while we wait. So kind of bouncing off that 4404 level there. Like I said, I struggle with the silver bullet in the 10 to 11 a.m. time frame, because you can kind of make an argument for both sides, but I don't know. I kind of favoring the downside here, because let's see if we put the so I mean, in order to trade into a discount here, it'd have to trade back into this open level, kind of below the open into this gap. Would be ideal. Maybe even into this order block here before we get a move back up. Like I said, this could be the silver bullet here. Yeah, John, I don't remember what I was saying, man. Let's see. Oh, I was just saying I had went to a casino there in Missouri, on the edge of Missouri. And I like to play poker. So yeah, this is probably your silver bullet setup, but I didn't take it. So when you get long here from 04, you'd be up 8-9 handles right now. So I struggle with the silver bullet between this time frame sometimes. But yeah, like I said, I went to a casino over there in Missouri, and the edge of Missouri, probably northeastern edge, but I don't remember what it was called. And just pushing through here. So this probably was the silver bullet setup, and I didn't take it. You can see it kind of, you have obviously the shift in structure to the upside. An order block here, trades back into it. Blast out of there. But I did not take it there. I was kind of thinking we may get a turn back down in the other direction, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. All the way up into the 125 there on the NQ. Yeah, I did quite like this trade back into the 4404 level, because we had that support. So that would have been a nice little 10-point move in a 3-minute candle. I mean, that was the entry there, and I didn't take it. Kind of feels bad, but that's all right. Not going to nail them all, right? So John, are you trading full time, or do you have a job outside of trading? I see that a lot of people work from home and kind of trade as they're working from home. This kind of feels bad here. I can't believe, well, I can believe it because we do it quite often, but yeah, I should have taken this entry at the 4404. That was a pretty clear setup there. Little nice pullback, little consolidation, pull back into support and into a fair value gap. Stop with, I mean, very short stop on this entry too. I mean, like 3 handles. That's all right. Okay, you're a former high school teacher. Nice. Wrestling coach. Taught math. That kind of makes sense. You're probably pretty good at figuring out the risk to reward then. Got to be good at math to play poker too, so I'm decent at math. I'm not an expert, but we do okay. Well, if you're playing at a higher level, that is. We're not playing at a high level, but we're not a beginner either. I've been playing since 2003. Really enjoy going to Vegas. Went to Vegas last July, I think. So I guess coming up on a year now. Is that right? Yeah, it seems like it's been a year since I went. I'm old, Stuart. Is that right? Right. I'm not quite 58. Not saying 58's old, but yeah, you're not lying there, John. Math can. No, I'm just talking about simple math. I can't get into all that other stuff. Yeah, you can definitely take math a lot further than I've ever taken it. Oh, you coach football, high school football. I enjoy football. I like to watch it. I live very close to Athens, Georgia, so I'm not supposed to say this, but I'm a huge Georgia Bulldogs fan. I'm told that you're not supposed to mention your alliances, what teams you like. You're supposed to keep it to yourself. But I went to the national title game this past year in January in California. A lot of fun. I'm sure a lot of people don't enjoy those 65-7 type games, but that was a lot of fun for me. Well, when you're trying to gain an audience, if someone from Alabama or Tennessee, Florida, Auburn area, we leaving anybody out? They may not like you just because of the team that you follow. So, ES hit the pivot right there. Kind of rejected the pivot. 44-17. So, yeah, Stuart, the guy in the comments here, Stuart Turok, he actually went with me to Vegas. Yeah, I agree. I agree there, John. That's why, originally when I started streaming, I would wear my Georgia gear and stuff. But then, my friends are like, you can't wear that. You shouldn't be wearing that. You should get neutral stuff. So I'm just like, all right. I guess if they're that sensitive, right? Yeah, this just could be one of those days where it's just moving up all day long. I don't know. I'm not so sure we're going to be getting many pullbacks at this point. This may be your typical Thursday, Friday that we've been looking at. I should have kind of kept that in mind. I mean, even here, you had a nice structure shift to the upside. We swept the low. Structure shift to the upside. We, entered into our. I guess we're a little before the time frame there. Traded back into the order block there. That would have been the entry for the move up. Feels kind of bad because, that was you're looking at a nice little 70 handle move there. How's it going, Jason? You woke up early to watch. Nice. We appreciate it. Maybe that's why I'm green, Jason, because you're watching, right? I got to be held accountable by Jason. Jason, I know for a fact, is a Ohio State fan, John, and he doesn't like it when I wear my Georgia gear. So Jason's also my girlfriend's son, so I have to sometimes, respect what he says, I guess. Not always. He's 13, so he's a huge Cleveland fan, as you can see from the Guardians logo there. You're a Mizzou fan? Hey, nothing wrong with that. I don't mind Mizzou. I mean, I want to say they went to the SEC title game the first 2 years they joined the conference, so kind of felt bad about that. But since then, um, haven't. I guess they have struggled since then, kind of like Arkansas does. They've had some decent teams, though, over the last few years. Kind of getting a pullback here. Jason was hoping Mizzou beat Georgia. I was watching and was mad when they didn't beat Georgia. All right, Jason. Jason does not like Georgia. Oddly enough, 2 years ago, Jason was a Georgia fan. And then last year, for whatever reason, he switched to Ohio State. Not quite sure why. Yeah, the Big Ten. I'm not sure that I'm going to be a huge fan of the Oklahoma, Texas coming into the league there. I do like the fact that we're going to that 12-team playoff next year because I think that's going to invite a lot more competition, and it does kind of water down the season wins and losses a little bit because I think you'll be able to get in with 2 losses, most likely. So it kind of waters down the maybe even 3 losses. I mean, if you're thinking about the top 12. So all former Big Ten teams. Yeah. I enjoy football. I'm not the only team that I hate that I would never, if one of my kids went to this school, then they'd be on their own as far as support goes when it comes to sports. Tennessee. And John, I don't know how old you are, but if you remember Georgia versus Tennessee in the 90s, you kind of understand why I feel that way. I think we lost to them for 10 straight years. Peyton Manning, T. Martin. Who was before Peyton Manning? Oh, gosh. I don't know. I can't remember. But, yeah. So I grew up 10 straight years losing to Tennessee. So more so than any other team, I don't like Tennessee. Only in football. Anything else, it's fine. I know someone who wants to go to Tennessee. She doesn't like Tennessee, the team, Jason. She likes Tennessee, the state. And I'm okay with the state. She can go to Vanderbilt. That's fine. Vanderbilt is a great school. I'm just kidding. Obviously, she can go anywhere she wants, but, We're kind of chopping around right here at the 15-120s. Maybe kind of taking a rest here before it continues higher. Hard to buy up here. I missed the entry. Don't want to FOMO into this at the top. So with missing the entry, I'm trying to follow my rules. 9 months ago. Is that how long it's been since we went? I don't even remember when it was. I thought it was in July. You sure it was it in September? September or October? Let me think. Oh, never mind. Now I know what you mean. All right, Stuart. I'm picking up what you're laying down there. Picking up what you're laying down. I have a child that was just born on March the 29th. And yeah. So that's what Stuart's saying. So it's definitely like, so 9 months before March, or 9 months previous to April there. May, June. Yeah, so I think we did go in July. Pretty sure now. I think that's confirmation. That's confirmation, Turok. Stuart's from Boston. He's over there in Boston. Up north. Do they consider Missouri the South still? I mean, I think that's still considered the South, right? It's not the deep South, but that's the South, I'm pretty sure. Missouri. All right, we're getting a little bit of a sell-off here on the ES. Trading back into that gap there. Oh, that feels awful right there. That was a nice entry. Hopefully one of you guys got that. 44.04 all the way up to 44.18. That's a nice 14-point move on the ES. And then 67 to 149. Completely Midwest. There you go. I agree. That's kind of what I think. My cousin says that Arkansas is considered the South, though, but I thought it was Midwest, too. Pretty sure he said it was the South. Jason says Boston sucks. I don't know, Jason. Who's won a title in any sport more recently, Boston or Cleveland? Let's see. We got the Cavaliers winning the title in, when did they win it? 2018? Was it 18? 19 maybe? When LeBron came back, I'm sure you know. And previous to that, let's see, the Browns, the Guardians. Let's see. I don't know. Just trying to say here. Not really any pullback here. I mean, this is a nice little pullback here, just kind of resting. I mean, if we get, I don't know, it's so hard for me to hit the button up here. It never works out for me when I do, so I'm going to try to be a little more patient. 2016, man, I was way off. So Cleveland won in 2016. That's 7 years ago already. I mean, the Braves have won more recently than the Braves, the Bulldogs. Now the Falcons, can't clump them in there. Oh, it's so tempting to trade this breakout. Let's move through 50. Very, very tempting. But we're not going to do it. Not going to hit the button. We did kind of turn that pivot into support there. Had a pivot down at the 106. So kind of held the pivot. Traded back into the 113 level here. Next pivot's not that far away. It's, well, I guess it's 100 points away. 210. Well, I guess 60 points from where we're at now. The 19th was the 7-year anniversary of the Cavs coming back from down 3-1. Yeah. I remember that. 7 years ago. All right, let's think about how old you were. So you were 6 years old. You don't remember that, Jason. Were you 6? Yeah, you were 6 years old. Your memory doesn't go back that far, does it? See, this is why I didn't want to buy this breakout here. mean, it still probably will go, but I feel like it should have already went. I mean, when you look at these levels like this, you're like, okay, I could have just done like a high to high trend line here. Trade the breakout. I mean, you could always do this in hindsight and be like, oh, high to high trend line for a breakout. Oh, I know you know your Cleveland stuff. I don't know that we're going to get this shift back to the downside that I've been kind of waiting for here. Might be tough to take it even if we do. I do believe the silver bullet was, like I said, this move here. Created this gap at 954, consolidated, traded back into it here at 1006. Blasted out of there. John, do you just trade? Are you trading any certain strategy, or you just kind of got your own 3 or 4 different things that you're using that you find works? I know you're in Cammy's stream pretty often there, so the silver bullet, is kind of what he looks for, or the OTE type strategy. I'm working on that OTE, kind of paying attention to that, learning a little more on it. Haven't perfected it by any means. I still struggle with the silver bullet setup myself, just like he does. I mean, you can always, you can make an argument for both sides typically. So, I mean, like right here, the silver bullet looks kind of, obvious. We traded down, made a low, took out the liquidity here. Didn't really reach the 93, but we don't have to go all the way to the 93. Still got sell side resting here. Shift to the upside, trades back into this gap. Blast out of there. I mean, if we look, was there any other gap it could have traded into here on the 3-minute chart? And the answer is no. There's not. So this is pretty obvious. Plus, we got the support at 44.04. I think I even mentioned that I like it when it traded back into this, and I didn't take it. Got to get better at that. So you look for a shift in structure with OTE coupled with support and resistance and frequent supply and demand. Yeah, it's kind of what I do. It's what I was thinking here, and then I just didn't take it. For whatever reason on the ES, I don't know. I just kind of struggle. I say that it kind of moves a little slower, but I mean, look at this nice 3-minute move. I mean, you get your 5 handles in your first 3 minutes there. That's the kind of stuff I like. But go back and show you my trade from overnight, John. If you let me scroll back, I showed it earlier, but I don't think you were on yet. So you can see we sold off from about 9 p.m. last night, 8:30. Made a new high, just sold off. So to me, this is clearly, we're looking for a shift back to the upside. So here's our shift in structure here. Little small volume imbalance here. So originally I was putting my order at 14,989 for a long. And then it traded back into it on the 1-minute chart. It was frustrating me because it created another fair value gap up a little higher right here, a small one. So I was trying to be patient with my entry last night. Trades back into it here, goes out of 15 handles. Trades back into it here. Trades back into it here, then shoots out of there for 20 handles. So I get frustrated here because I'm trying to wait for it to come back to this imbalance. I get frustrated here and I just take the entry on both accounts. I get about 15 handles. Then what happens? Let's go back to the 3-minute. So I shut the computer down, go to bed. It's like I said, I usually trade till about 4. And what happens here? Refills the imbalance at 445 right there perfectly. Very little drawdown. Now you're outside the silver bullet time frame here, but doesn't really matter. So 1489 all the way up to 15023 would have been a nice. That was what I was looking for, but was trying to display the patience and then just didn't do it. Didn't wait. Still took profit. Still got a nice little, little bit of drawdown, but not much. Just trying to get more patient at these entries. That's what I was trying to do last night, and then I just end up kind of FOMOing into it anyway. It worked out, but not all trades are good, right? Even if they work out. So to me, the risk on that trade did not equal the reward, because I think I had on that trade I had to have like a 26 handle stop, and I took 15 handles in profit. Doesn't make sense. And I'm not good at I thought about just leaving an order right there at that volume imbalance and just putting a 20 handle take profit, but I don't know, it's hard to do. Hard for me to put a trade on and walk away from the computer. I've done it before, and it doesn't, it works out sometimes it doesn't. Kind of takes the mental part out of it, if you will, but I am just not, I'm quite confident that we just missed the silver bullet this morning. So yeah, like I said, that's kind of the problem sometimes when I trade. I'll see the setups, I don't take them, or I'm not patient enough to wait. It's one thing I do like about Cammy. He will put that order where it needs to be and wait. He will not do anything until it comes back and tags him in where it wants him to tag him in at, where it makes sense. He uses a really solid risk to reward. Yeah, I've been following Cammy since he was, I think he had like 100 subscribers when I started following him. I was a part of his, I was a member to his channel and joined his Discord. And then he disappeared there for a while. Not quite sure what was going on with him, but I do like it when he streams. Especially he streams the afternoon session, which I don't stream typically, and I struggle with that 2 to 3 silver bullet because you got a lot of stuff going on. That's why I like the London session. It's pretty clean. Kind of surprised Cammy doesn't do that more. Yeah, I know. I kind of self-plugged myself there in Cammy's stream because sometimes you got to take those shameless plugs, right? Do what you got to do. But Cammy's such a nice guy. He doesn't care. It doesn't bother him. So, but yeah, I think if he traded the NQ on the London session, I think he would like it. I know he mostly sticks to the ES, but the NQ on the London session seems to be pretty nice. And I know he's in New Zealand, which I think is around 9 p.m. when London opens up. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what time it is. Yeah, that's the whole point. Sometimes YouTube, they don't put you in front of people until you kind of develop a following. So sometimes it's kind of hard to get traction when it comes to that. You can see I'm at 69 subscribers. So working my way up. I know it's not an overnight thing, so I'm okay with that. But Cammy, he kind of, which I haven't done this yet. I made a couple of ICT videos. I've done some silver bullet trades and stuff like that. And I know Cammy tagged ICT in his Twitter post, so he posted his videos on Twitter and tagged ICT in those videos. And then ICT retweeted them, and that helped him, quite a bit. But I'm not a perfect I'm still learning when it comes to the ICT concepts and stuff. I watched the entire 2022 mentorship, but I have not delved any. I haven't delved into the 2023 that much. I think 2 episodes into it. Kind of get a pullback here. Got a shift on the 1 minute chart here in structure. Not really one to speak of yet on the 3 minute chart. Trading back into this 20 SMA here. You got the whole number here. You got the 20 SMA. You have a couple of up close candles. I mean, this might not be a bad kind of dip buy here. Yeah, I didn't hit the button here. It's not really. I hesitated because I wasn't sure if it's really going to respect. It's a good thing we didn't take that trade. ES is really selling off, approaching the VWAP. So we definitely have a shift to the downside here on the ES. Broke this low. 1041. There's no news. I'm just kind of looking. Trading into a bullish order block on the 5 minute on the NQ. ES is bouncing off of the VWAP here. Now it's just selling off here. This is where I struggle. I should just, the break of this 20, probably should have just got in there, but just watching this 1 minute chart now on the ES. Kind of watching the ES here. For a potential entry short. Let's see if we turn this VWAP into resistance here. Thinking of Thinking of taking a short with the same idea that we had on the long earlier with using 4404. All right, we're going to take this short here, kind of targeting this low a day, risking 150 here. Probably should move my stop up to here though. See if we turn the 4404 level kind of into resistance here. At the VWAP, the 4404 level there. So see if we can continue to get this move down. The NQ is trying to move down as well. All right, I'm just taking it off there. I don't know. It's probably going to go now that I took it off. I don't know. I'm just not trusting that. Second guessing myself, John. See what I do? See how I do that there? Second guess myself. Took a little piece out of it, but not very much. But pretty confident this is probably going to sell back down. I didn't realize we were so... for whatever reason, my psyche was like, oh, we're right here at the 4,400. It could bounce there. Once I took the entry, I kind of realized that. But let's see what the ES is doing, or the NQ is doing here. So there we go. NQ is down to the 15,062. So basically, almost pretty close to a 95-point sell-off, almost 100-point sell-off here. Yeah, see, I was just thinking we turned this kind of into resistance. I don't know. It probably would work out. Probably would be fine, but just didn't trust it there. Probably is going to move down, but it's, you know, sorry, can do it without me. Kind of traded into a fair value gap there on the 15-minute chart on the ES and the NQ. See if it kind of turns this area into resistance. Just kind of felt like we might bounce here. I don't know. Felt like a short at first, and then obviously we may bounce and trade back up into this 10 area or even the 04 area. I guess that's why it's important to pay attention to the higher time frames there. Traded right back into this gap, which, you know, if we check it with the fib tool, I don't really remember. I'm pretty sure. Look at this. Traded right back into the premium, you know, or into a discount. And now it's bouncing out of there. Yeah, I need to pay more attention to that. I know I put it on there earlier, but forgot. So a bad place to short for sure. Glad I got out of that. This looks like it's going to be a rip back up. Would have been, in hindsight, obviously a decent entry here. It's one of those situations where you could make an argument for both directions, though, because yes, it trade back into this gap, but is there a structure shift here? Yes, there is, right? So this literally could just be trading back up into this gap for the continued move lower. So I think if you get above the 20 SMA and the whole number, they're probably going to continue through this gap, but same idea here, trading back up into the gap, possible move up into the 10 before kind of selling off, although this one didn't really trade into a gap. I guess you could put that fib on this too and take a look to kind of see. So yeah, this traded back into the discount area quite a bit. So let's kind of see what happens from here. So let's kind of see what we get. What we get. Feel like this might be a sell-off, you know. Like I said, it's kind of what I was thinking there, but you could make an argument in both directions here, and this is where I struggle. So kind of seems like it's going to sell off. I kind of think that's probably what's going to happen. As long as we stay below that 20 SMA there, kind of holding this gap pretty well here on the ES. But it could go either way. My initial bias here was short, obviously, and this is where I kind of second guess myself. So when you're unsure, just tread lightly. Tread lightly. So let's kind of see what happens here. Just wait and see. Guys, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Helps the channel out. Appreciate it. What's the weather outside like today? Is it still raining? Let's see here. Yeah. I still see some raindrops. Still see some raindrops. ES is approaching that low to low trend line here. I think this is going to be a sell-off. I really do. I think we're going to sell back down to the 93 level. This is going to be a trade that we're going to miss, though, I can tell you now, because the number to short here would be 44.04, really. And possible sell back into the 80s here. Or, I'm sorry, the low 90s, 43.93. So I think, let's see, 43.93. If we sell down to there, yeah, 43.93. Maybe make a leg down into the low 80s, into the 80 area, low 80s, 82. As we're losing the VWAP here, we're losing that 44.04 support. Do have the pivot on the ES at 43.95 to think of. Dollar stair stepping up here over the last 20-30 minutes. Yeah, I don't. That 15-minute range there kind of turning into a little bit of support as well. Having a difficulty getting through that. I don't really see any reason to be going long here. I mean, certainly, like I said, this could be, you could be looking at this gap just into the discount area premium, but I think this is more likely to sell off than anything. Getting a little bounce here at the 70, a little support. Yeah, just kind of holding up in this area here, not selling off like you'd think. Getting a little bounce here. All right, well, we're approaching the 11 o'clock hour here. I don't foresee myself taking any more entries at this point. So if you guys haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below. We'll be live tonight, well, tomorrow morning, 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. for the London session. John, if you want to wake up extra early to join me. And like always, I appreciate you guys watching the stream with me. Looks like we are ending the day 318 and 469. I have no idea. 782? No, that's wrong. 87. 787. So anyways, I'll take it after losing $1,000 yesterday. So I will see you guys live at 3 a.m. and enjoy your day.